What's going on, guys? Jagira here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the new, well, I say new, they're leaks. Basically, they're leaks from the Highlander, as you can see in this beautiful picture I found. God, isn't that wonderful, a Shigoki being killed. Then again, though, Ubisoft managed to do that pretty well to him anyway. So, I'm going to be bringing you the leaks. Some of you in the comments mentioned about the leaks, and some of you didn't know about it. So I thought, it'd be nice just to showcase them off and talk about them. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So here we begin with the Highlanders moveset, and we are starting off under the hero specific, and we are going to be looking at the offensive and defensive forms. As we know, the Highlander has two different kinds of forms, offensive and defensive. Shocker. So Highlander's guard mode has two forms. Defensive form has access to block, parry and guard break, and offensive form has access to unblockable attacks. So this is basically saying that when you are in offensive form, you cannot block, parry and guard break. This also most likely means counter guard break as well. As to counter guard break, you need to guard break as well, so you will want to watch out for that. Entering offensive form. Hold right trigger to enter offensive form and continue to hold right trigger to remain in offensive form. Sounds bog standard, pretty nice. So I originally thought it was going to be like you press C or whatever move you have for the Nobushi to go into hidden stance to switch between it, but it seemed it's a bit more fluid. You just hold your right attack button. Fair enough. Offensive form unblockable heavy. When in offensive form you release the right trigger for an unblockable heavy attack. After the attack you will return to defensive form. Very fluid, I must say. Just from the start of this you can see it is a very fluid type combo. Release the heavy attack. After you do this unblockable heavy attack, back into defensive form, ready to protect yourself. Nice. Attacking while in offensive form. While in offensive form, you can launch special attacks while still holding right trigger. We'll probably see more of those later on. Now on to the moves. T-Nok, which I've probably butchered. Right button, right trigger. So that's light, heavy. That's in defensive form. Bog standard combo. You've got Lowland Slashes, Banshee's Wail, that sounds pretty awesome. Celtic Curse. This gives us hyper armor by the look of it, meaning that you can't be interrupted when doing it, via an attack, I should say. And this is left stick going forward while dodging, followed up with heavy attack. That'll be interesting. And then underneath we have entering offensive form, Balor's Might. In offensive form you release it. That is probably the unblockable heavy that was mentioned in the hero specific. And underneath is Caber Toss. Right, for any of you who don't know what a Caber Toss is, Google and YouTube Scottish Caber Toss. If I cannot throw an Orochi like that, I am going to riot Ubisoft. I will bring the pitchforks, I will bring the torches, and we will riot at Montreal. I want to toss an Orochi like that. Simple as. So that was a rather quick look though at all of them, and yeah, I mean, Caber Toss has definitely got to me. I really want to throw a Shinobi like that, or an Orochi, or any samurai hero to be Pacific. Pacific? Fuck me, to be specific. So let's go on to the second picture and we will continue there, guys. Here we go, guys, second picture. And like we did in the first one, we are going to start with the hero specifics and then we're going to go into the moves. Hero specific number 1. You can cancel your sprint attack after the first attack with B, which is the button to cancel a heavy attack. You cannot fast flow to offensive form. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, right, Highlander's sprint attack will have more than one attack. Think the Shigoki and the Nobushi zone. It basically has two separate attacks to it, and you can cancel the second attack after the first attack by fainting it. Well, same here. But from the looks of things, if you let the both, maybe even 3 attacks, if you let all the attacks go, then you can fast flow into offensive form. This is going to be really interesting, I have to say. It will really punish people who, I'm going to sound horrible here, who are not good at the game. Because if they do not block if they do not parry the sprinting attacks, you can then fast flow into offensive form, Balor's Might, boom. That is my impression of a nuke. So, underneath there, offensive form special cancels. Unblockable heavy, Balor's Might, can be cancelled into Fromarian Kick. Unblockable heavy can be cancelled into caber toss. The kick, the Fomarian kick I'm going to say, can be cancelled into caber toss as well. Ooh, right. So, this is going to be a little bit interesting. So, Balor's Might, you can cancel Balor's Might into caber toss or kick. You can cancel Balor's Might into kick, then into caber toss. Maybe? I'm not too sure. Because if you can cancel the unblockable heavy into the Fomarian kick and then a kick into the caber toss, that is going to be one hella mix-up. So, obviously you're going to have a choice between Balor's Might, which is just a shit ton of damage, into Caber's Toss, which knocks people down, or into Fomarian Kick, which pushes them quite the distance away. So you can really, when you're about to release Balor's Might, choose what you want to do. And I'm guessing if people dodge, you can get all these new forms of punishes kicking off. So that's going to be interesting. Underneath here we have Celtic Cursed Councils. Council into a left attack, cancel into a right attack, and these attacks have super armor, hyper armor, uninterruptible stance, whatever you want to call it. So we went over what Celtic Curse was. You went forward, you dodged right trigger, well you can cancel it into a left or a right attack, and both times they have super armor. So we're talking a bit of a mix up here along with like the Kensei, where he can do the unblockable heavy from the top and then cancel it into a side attack. And that side attack has super armor. Well, with regards to all of the Highlanders things with Celtic Curse, they all have super armor. And then we have the Celtic Curse Chain Starter. Celtic Curse and the side versions can cancel. Celtic Curse and the side versions it can cancel into can be used to initiate chains. Which basically means the first step of the chain you can therefore ignore, because this is technically the start of the chain. So something like Banshee's Wail, which is right trigger. Celtic Curse, you don't need to hit right trigger again to get the full effect of Banshee's Wail. Interesting. Now underneath moves, we went down to Caber Toss on the last picture. So we've got Fomarian Kick. This is basically while in offensive form you press X, which is guard break. You're going to probably boot them in the dick and send them flying. Or womb if you're a female character. Let's not be sexist here. Enhanced Light is you're holding offensive form, so you're holding that right trigger and then you press light attack. Boom, Enhanced Light. Bog Standard, pretty good. Offensive form emote. So in offensive form you hit Y, which is Revenge Meter. And it's an offensive emote. Right, I'm not too sure if Ubisoft has trolled us here, but that seems weird. And then sprint attack is just your bog standard sprint attack. You do that while out of guard stance, where you're not in guard mode. Go forward, sprint, heavy button, heavy attack, and boom, you will do your sprint attack. Like I said with Highlander, I reckon it's going to be more than one attack. Going to be interesting to see what we get and what it actually does, how many attacks we get from it. And like I said, I feel if you let all your attacks go, you can therefore flow into offensive form. Still, after looking at all of this, Caber Toss, I cannot wait for that. I'm a big fan of the long arm. Like, it upsets me that Lawbro's long arm is not as viable as I wish it was. It's only really good to punish bad people and for like pulling it out of the hat when people aren't expecting it. So I really hope Caber Toss is going to be a bit more usable than that. So yeah, we shall see. Anyway, that is this picture. We're going to go on to the last and final one, and well, yeah, that's basically it, the last and final, so I'll see you guys for that one. This is the last picture. I apologise, it is such shit quality, but I tried to enlarge it so you guys could actually see it, because the original picture was the size of a bumblebee's dick. It was basically impossible to see if you didn't get that. So I've enlarged it. Fast flow to offensive form. Hold right trigger after a parry, guard break, throw, or after any attack other than the defensive form's chain finisher. So originally I thought, right, you can do your defensive form chain finisher because they're all right triggers. They're all basically heavy attacks. You hold that, boom, offensive form. Not the case. Here we have a fast flow, and it only is after parry, guard break, throw, or after any attack. Right, so what I'm thinking, parry, guard break, chuck them into a wall, fast flow into offensive form, release into Balor's Might. We've got Centurion 2.0 here. That is going to be beautiful, and I cannot wait. Right, Exiting offensive form. Press B, which is cancel, or you feint, I believe, to return to defensive form. Suffering a hit will also cause you to return to defensive form. After an attack, you will return to defensive form if you do not hold right trigger. That was a lot of words. So, while you're in offensive form, if you take a hit, so you take a bit of a knock to the bonce, you're going to go back to defensive form. And if you attack and you don't hold right trigger, you're also going to go back into defensive form. So they're giving you loads of options here to get back to defensive form. This is not really, I mean, here it doesn't sound like it's a hindrance. It's here like, look, we're going to help you get back to defensive form because you're going to need to get ready to parry and block these incoming attacks. What I'm going to say is, I should have probably said this at the beginning, we therefore know for a fact the Highlander's neutral stance, like the stance he goes into battle with, is going to be the defensive form. I didn't think any of us thought any different, but there we go. So, if you suffer an attack, you'll return to defensive form. So basically just get ready to do a lot of dodging. You know, just dodge, guys. That's how you beat a Centurion. Yeah, after an attack, you return to defensive form, and if you do not hold right trigger, back to defensive form. Fair enough. Offensive form enhanced light attacks. If you're in offensive form and you do a light attack, it is not interrupted on block. Ooh, that's going to be good. So when someone's out of stamina, you can wail on them. Because obviously the chip damage increase is coming. Offensive form light attack can be used to cancel an offensive form unblockable heavy. So you're going to start Balor's Might and you can cancel it into a light attack. Interesting. I want to know, can you do it from a different side though? So can you say like you're doing Balor's Might from the right? Can you do a light attack from the other side? So someone was out of stamina and there's attempting to parry you, and because you can't parry when you're in offensive form, this is another way to get a bit more damage in. We shall see. I look forward to seeing this. And then to finish it off, this is the most boring of all of them. Defensive form heavy attacks have super armor. You couldn't have gave us anything more glorious to finish on. Defensive form attacks have super armor. That actually is pretty good. Though, I'm going to say it's going to be different from the Warlords. Warlords' heavy attacks do give super armor, hyper armor, whatever you want to call it, armor. And this is at the end, towards the end of the attack. Okay? So, I'm going to say here, his defensive attacks from the very get-go have hyper armor. I'm going to call that. I could be wrong, but that's what I reckon. So, guys, do not attempt to do light attacks to stop them. Just block, just parry, just dodge, all that good shit. But yeah, that is the end of these stuff. Why did I go German towards the end? That is the end of the Highlander leaks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of this stuff, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. Really want to do whatever you guys like me doing. Obviously, I'm sure, well, I hope most of you like the usual content I put out. But if you like this as well, hey ho, I can do this as well. So yes, guys, if you did enjoy it, please leave a like. That is greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel and you love the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become absolutely awesome. Guys, I've been Jagira. All of you have been amazing for watching. And I'll see you next time. Take care and bye-bye.